But let's get to our next victim. I mean, the next defendant. The next one is one that I've heard way too much about. It's RJ Harvey. Derek Brown has not shut up about RJ Harvey for, I don't know, the last 3 months. So we're going to talk about RJ Harvey because right now, Fantasy Football Court is in session and my gavel's fixed. Sort of. Gonna have to gorilla glue this thing after the show. What happens is my rulings are just way too powerful. You gotta be gentler about it. So let us discuss here RJ Harvey. Pat Fitzmaurice, you are the prosecuting attorney. RJ Harvey comes into your rankings at RB22, the fresh-faced young running back just drafted by the Denver Broncos. DBro has him at RB12, which makes me uncomfortable. And I got to tell you, this is going to be a big hill for the defense to climb. But I want to hear everybody's arguments regardless. And Pat Fitzmaurice, we'll begin with you. Clearly, I understand with Javonte Williams gone in the situation in Denver, there's opportunity for RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey had a nice college career. RJ Harvey, some might say, fits the Alvin Kamara role. But is he Alvin Kamara? I don't know if he is. I really don't. I'm not sold on that fact. And it seems like from your rankings, he is not. Not to mention that they also brought in a fella named J.K. Dobbins, who seems like he could be the thorn in a lot of fantasy managers' side who enjoy the RJ Harvey early love. So, Pat Fitzmaurice, the court will hear your argument against, and I say against because I'm wearing this wig and I have to say against, RJ Harvey. Pat Fitzmaurice, the floor is yours.
Your Honor, it brings me no joy to bring this case against RJ Harvey, an upstanding member of the vaunted running back draft class of 2025. I like RJ Harvey too. ECR has him at RB23. I have him at RB22, so I am ahead of consensus on him. But Mr. Brown has him at RB12. That's just reckless. And look, maybe I could have seen the merits of a low-end RB1 ranking for RJ Harvey right after he was drafted. But then the Broncos signed J.K. Dobbins, as Your Honor pointed out. I certainly don't think the oft-injured J.K. Dobbins is going to block RJ Harvey's path to fantasy relevance entirely, but nor do I think the Broncos brought in J.K. Dobbins just to have him ride the pine on Sundays. Sean Payton has pretty much always gone with a committee approach at running back, whether it was Pierre Thomas and Reggie Bush, Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. Harvey is most likely going to be part of a tag team. I think it's going to be a productive tag team. Sean Payton's running backs always catch a lot of passes, and I think RJ Harvey could have 50 or 60 receptions this year. But when the Broncos get close to the goal line, is it likely to be RJ Harvey in the lineup or the hammer-like J.K. Dobbins? I'm okay with ranking RJ Harvey as a lower-end RB2, but DBro, I cannot see the same unicorns and cotton candy clouds that you are seeing with this RB12 ranking for RJ Harvey.
Such flowery language, such hurtful words from Pat Fitzmaurice here. Clearly, he was a little upset from losing that last case. So Pat Fitzmaurice is throwing down here. I'm also reading Pat Fitzmaurice's write-up on FantasyPros. Just so happens about RJ Harvey. Harvey is on the smaller side, 5'9", 208, but he has outstanding quickness, lateral agility, and vision. So Derek Brown, you have a vision of RJ Harvey. Why don't you share it with this court?
I have a vision for Harvey to be one of the best running backs in all the land, a top 12 running back. And some people might say this is preposterous. Some people might say this is insanity. Some people might say I am off the rails. And what I say is just because you have not seen it happen yet doesn't mean that it cannot come true. I say that we should all believe in wonderful things happening. So yes, I will live in the land of unicorns and ice cream because again, isn't this fantasy, people? Isn't this fantasy football that we are playing? This game of fantasy that we all love? Yes, Mr. Fitzmaurice, I will live in the land of fantasy. Thank you very much. And I will enjoy it very much with Harvey leading the backfields of all of my teams in fantasy football on an offense that we know is going to feature the running back. And do we believe that J.K. Dobbins, and I don't believe that J.K. Dobbins is fully washed. I believe there's some talent left in there. But do we believe that J.K. Dobbins is going to catch those passes in a Sean Payton offense? I don't think that's going to happen, considering J.K. Dobbins, 0.72 career yards per route run. Even in college, he didn't eclipse 1.0 yards per route run. So, in a Sean Payton offense that over the last 2 years has been top 5 in target share to the running back position, Mr. Fitzmaurice, I know you know this fact to be true as well, so let's not bury that in this entire conversation. But in all of this, who's going to catch those passes? It's not Dobbins. It's not Jaleel McLaughlin. That didn't happen last year. It's not Audric Estime, who we're still trying to see. Does he actually have hands to catch said passes? Apparently, by the signing of Dobbins, the Broncos say nay. But with Dobbins, I'm not saying that he cannot be productive. But are we so worried about a running back that was just signed off the street in the middle of the summer? Isn't that more of an indictment upon Audric Estime than RJ Harvey? And even a lesser player of Javonte Williams, unfortunately, at this point of his career, Sean Payton had no qualms, no problems with riding him as the passing down back, although that is not his specialty. And he's not nearly the pass catcher that RJ Harvey is, considering RJ Harvey's 1.44 yards per route run in college, as well as turning in a collegiate season in 2022 where he was 11th best, top 12 in the nation in yards per route run against all FBS running backs with at least 20 targets. So not only is it the pass catching upside of RJ Harvey, but the early down prowess that we have to discuss here that vaults him into that top 12 conversation in this offense, which, by the way, was top 12 in scoring and probably takes another step forward this year. Nay, I will say, with all of my chest and breath, possibly a top 5 scoring offense this season, considering they were 10th last year. Do we not want the lead back? Do we not believe in the lead back and a possibly top 5 scoring offense in the NFL? We should, and we should rank him. Put respect upon his name. The second-round pick of Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos over a street free agent in the summer. Psh, excuse me. I dismiss your claims, Mr. Fitzmaurice, and the defense rests.
Interesting. Derek Brown, I have a question, a cross-examination, if you will. Were you or were you not the same fantasy analyst in 2024 in July that kept telling us how Jaleel McLaughlin was going to run away with the backfield of the Denver Broncos, sir?
I was, Joe, and I will own my past missteps. None of us are perfect. This court, even including you, Judge, none of us are perfect. We have all had times where we have run astray, and I'm here to open up all of my past wounds and indiscretions to the court.
This is not church. This is the court. We have a separation of church and state. You're not here to atone for your sins. You are here, my friend, to be judged by the law at the end of the day. And it seems as though that prior indiscretion, although accountable, which I appreciate your accountability, perhaps you don't know Sean Payton as well as you think you know Sean Payton. It makes me concerned that perhaps you don't really have your finger on the pulse of the backfield of the Denver Broncos after all. Pat Fitzmaurice, do you have any closing arguments after the defense of Derek Brown regarding one RJ Harvey?
Yes, I'm glad you brought up the Jaleel McLaughlin matter, Joe, because I do think Jaleel McLaughlin still might have a role in this offense. Perhaps he can be the new Darren Sproles in the Sean Payton offense, which would further chop away at the passing game role for RJ Harvey. So I think you made an excellent point there, Your Honor.
Ass kissing will only get you so far, but it will get you far enough to get a good verdict, because I do believe that although RJ Harvey might be exciting, although RJ Harvey could certainly over time overtake, lead this backfield, emerge as a fantasy stud, to rank him as RB12, for him to become an RB1, that is too rich for my blood. Way too rich for my blood. Therefore, it is this court's decision to side with Pat Fitzmaurice's far more reasonable RB22 ranking. RB12, what's in that energy drink? The court rules in Pat Fitzmaurice's favor. RJ Harvey shall be RB22. No caveats. No way we're compromising. 22. No meeting in the middle on this one. I am sorry, ladies and gentlemen of the court and the jury, but RB12 is just far too rich. We're walking down a very dangerous path here.
I will have my day. I will have my day in the court of appeal.
You may.
I will.
And by the way, there you go. Flo Bro, obviously a relative of DBro. You convinced me. Harvey's a top 12 RB lock. So you at least convinced
the jury knows.
It's a hung
Let the
jury.
people speak.
It's a hung jury at the very best. But you know what? I'm in charge around here.